search. The where like allows us to search for any word inside of a string by putting a wildcard before and after the word. So if we switch to the Aesop database, and let me show you what the table looks like first. Not a lot to it. Title, the moral, and the fable text. And we'll just open the table and see the kind of data that's in there. So Aesop's Fables database has one table called Fable. So in the Fable table, there's just 4 columns: the primary key, the title of the fable, the moral, and the fable text. The fable text is short. Rarely is it longer than over about 100 characters. Only 25 fables in here. So it's a good sample workspace or sandbox to play with searching for words. So in searching for words, let's see how SQL Server executes a where like. So I'm turning on actual execution plan. We will execute this. Looking at the execution plan, and it has to do a table scan. Even if you have a good index on that column, if you're searching for words inside the column, it must do some kind of scan, either a table scan or an index scan. Think of it this way. If you were searching for everyone who lived on Maple Street, and you're looking through the telephone book, there's no way to index and find quickly who lives on Maple Street. You'd have to look through every name and manually examine the address. Full text search is a solution for that problem, because it actually builds an index of every word in the columns you specify and can link that back to the primary key. So first we have to go ahead and enable or set up this full text search. There's 2 ways to do it. The first way is with the wizard. So right-click on the table, pulling up the context menu, full text search, and define full text index. The wizard already knows which table we want to select, so we have to tell it an index. This is going to be the unique index that full text search will use to identify which rows match up with which words. And notice this is an index, not a column name. So even though we have a column there called Fable ID, there's an index there called Fable PK. And it's the index we're going to be using. Full text search can search any character-based columns, and it can search blog-type columns as well, the binary large object columns. But here we're just going to work with the character columns. Depending upon the size of the data you're working with, you may choose to manually update full text search or let SQL Server update it automatically. Since full text search is a separate index literally outside of your database, it doesn't automatically stay in sync with changes unless you tell it to automatically do this. What it's going to do is turn on change tracking, and then using change tracking, do small differential changes to the full text index to keep it up to date. A catalog is a collection of full text indexes. I'm going to call this total training. This page is if we want to schedule populations of the full text catalog. We're going to skip that for now and finish. And we're done. Just to test that it works, I'm going to come down and run one full text search. Worked fine. Fantastic. I also want to show you how to do it with code as well. If you wanted to script creating your full text catalog and full text index, you can go ahead and use these commands. Create full text catalog, give it the name of your catalog, and then create full text index on. Use the table, list all the columns in parentheses. The key index is the name of the unique index that's going to be used. Then there's options. I had the change tracking auto option turned on there as well. So now that the full text catalog is in place, we can see the properties in 2 places. The first is in the context menu of the table, full text index. There's several commands here for deleting it, working with the population, those types of things. But at the bottom here is a properties. And it will show you interesting things like the item count, the status, also which columns are being used, and any schedules for incremental or full repopulations. You can also see it under Storage, full text catalogs. Here's the catalog we just created. Looking at the context menu and properties. This looks the same. This is different because it doesn't know at this point which table we're connected to, and you might be able to change it and put other table information in here as well.